Time for another edition of the Mailbag for September and October of 2021. I received a few noteworthy items this month in the mail, as well as some donations and the like, so I thought I'd send out a thank you to the patrons and donors who help support the work that I do here. Without your help, this would simply not be possible, so thank you very much. To that end, if you send me some things in the mail, please include an email address so I can thank you for your donation or item and answer the question you sent to me. And also so I can add you to my patron early access list if you want a donation of some kind or another. If you give me an email address, I do not give those away to anybody for any price, so don't worry about that. You will, as anybody who has sent me things here will probably be able to tell you in the comments, that the only email they get from me is usually a thank you email or the early access email. Anyway, I'd like to do that sort of thing, putting people on the, getting people early access to videos when they've helped support the work. So please make sure an email address is included, and please make sure that it's clearly printed. Someone sent me something and did include an email address about a month or two ago, but I couldn't make it out. And when I did try to send an email to I thought what was the address, the message bounced back as undeliverable. So please make sure that it's clearly printed. That having been said, let's go over the mail. First, if you want a question answered that is something I can answer on YouTube, send it to the email address that you see on your screen now. That's my email address, whether it's an email for the mailbag or for help finding a traditional Latin Mass somewhere relatively near to your location. I have a couple of web resources for that, so feel free to send me an email in that regard as well. When I put out the call last week for that, I got several responses, probably 10 or 20 a day. So don't be put off if the response you get looks like it's a sort of a form email response, is because it was. I wrote one email and made it so I could send it because I had to send the same email 20 times that day, each day. If you need help with that regard, send it to that address. So first up, a listener has started a web page for devotion to the Holy Face of Jesus, whose feast day is on the Tuesday immediately before Ash Wednesday. This is the image they sent me, and it is a beautiful depiction of the face of our blessed Lord as seen in the holy images associated with the Holy Face devotion. This image is meant to be hung in the home for adoration. Bear that in mind. The listener just completed the building of their free website, free to you, holyfacerelic.com, which is an image of a relic from 1866 of the Holy Face of Jesus. You can go there for free to get a free downloadable scan of their 1866 Holy Face of Jesus, alongside a brief outlining of the devotion and its significance for our chaotic times. As the website says, quote, "The original Holy Face of Jesus, engraved images which include a papal seal and certificate of authenticity, are in a relic class of their own. The certificate verifies that the image has been touched to Veronica's veil, the true wood of the cross, and the lance that pierced Christ's side. Since these images were touched to the instruments of our Lord's Passion, which were drenched in his blood, they have therefore been touched to the blood of Christ, and so are considered living images of Jesus Christ. The scan, when printed, should measure 30 centimeters by 40 centimeters for it to be a 1-to-1 scale to the original. After many rounds of proofing, consulting with a professional printer, we achieved the most accurate replica on Hanwul Fine Art Photo Rag paper. 308 GSM acid-free archival quality, 100% cotton paper using Epsom Ultra Chrome HDR archival pigment inks. The scan of the 1866 Holy Face of Jesus relic should never be used for profit and only with proper veneration and piety, befitting to an image of our Lord Jesus Christ. Our hope is that you locate an original Holy Face of Jesus engraved image in your locality and have your print touched to it and blessed. Such blessed replicas have been shown to be miraculous in their own right." End quote. The image is free, folks, free to you. You just have to go to their website, print it yourself, and have it printed to the specifications they have on their website, which I just read to you here. A link to this is in a special show notes today at returntotradition.org. It's the name of this podcast with a .org at the end. Just skip past the Patreon pop-up. There is no paywall for my sources at all, and unless you want to become a patron of this channel, that's a different conversation entirely. Next, a listener sent this rosary for my soon-to-be-born daughter. It's been a fairly chaotic month here, which is why I think some things are a little bit later than I had intended, and I haven't been able to hold up to some of my obligations. It was quite a remarkable gift, and it's a very timely one since my daughter will be here with us very soon. And my little girl will treasure this, I am sure. It was made by hand by Kimberly from Luxury Rosaries by Kimberly. Her website is rosariesbykimberly.com if you want to order one for yourself or for a loved one. since we are now in that time of year where Christmas gifts are on people's minds or will be very shortly. This rosary has some nice weight to it and is made of precious materials, so this would be a good option for a loved one, like your spouse or, as in my case, for my baby daughter. Thanks to Kimberly for sending me this today. A link to her page will be in my show notes as well. Next, we have this poster made by a listener named Joe. It has several quotes from John Paul II on the topic that I call the Moloch issue, which, of course, I can't say by name on this place without getting punished for it by our totally free and lovely hosts. He made them himself and is open to people who would like one for themselves. I'm seeking a place for the copy he sent to me. Since I am in a place of transition right now with another child about to be born, I haven't really had the time to really do things like getting Mailbag videos out as promised or to put these sort of things up in the home. But if you want one, go see my show notes at returntotradition.org so you can contact Joe. If you saw the recent video on the visions of the Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich, then thank listener Raymond for sending me this set of her books. She was a mystic who had very numerous visions of our Lord, as you can see by the size of this volume. And some of these visions were of the coming chastisement, which I have featured on my channel before, as well as numerous visions of our Lord. As Raymond described to me in an email, her interactions with our Lord are definitely not like those we are told of today. She didn't see the hippie, non-judgmental Jesus that the world loves, who just wants group hugs and kumbaya. She saw the just judge, Christ the King, and the messages she had recorded were not exactly pleasant to modern ears. Her works are approved by the Church. I intend to bring her messages here periodically over the next few months, in addition to those I've already covered in my We Were Warned videos, and for those wondering, her messages can be found on various websites all over the internet, so they're available for free, and they are open copyright. So thanks to Raymond for sending these to me. It is appreciated. Finally, several of you sent me letters or donations, so a thank you goes to you as well. Like I said at the start, if you want to send me something, include a clearly printed email address, and I'll add you to my Patreon early access list for the weekend videos and monthly exclusives I send to patrons. Along those lines, I wanted to give an update of sorts. My patrons are due a copy of my doctoral dissertation. The problem that I've run into is twofold. First, it's pretty dense in places, and a chore to read through, really, for most people trying to read it casually, because I have let a couple people read it, and it's a doctoral dissertation. They're designed to be read by stuffy academics who live in an ivory tower. But second, to get it past the committee who ultimately decided my academic fate, I needed to have it be, well, frankly, pretty modernist. I nearly quit instead of submitting the document, but several traditional priests just told me to get the thing done and to jump through the hoops the university had for me so I could do good work with the paper credential they'd give me. So I did just that. There are a couple Easter eggs in it, though. I quote Cardinal Bernardin and Archbishop Lefebvre on the same topic in the same paragraph once, and anybody who knows me would find that amusing, or be horrified by it. I'm not sure which. That having all been said, though, once things settle down here with the new baby, I intend to essentially rewrite the thing, and the patrons of the channel will get a free PDF copy of it. If by chance some publisher gets interested in it, I may have physical copies to give away to the patrons, depending on how all that works out, because I have no idea. The subject of the document, and I guess you could say my book, will be Sustainable Development in Catholic Social Teaching, which gives insight into why I hit the Pachamama topic as hard as I do. The rewrite that I'm going to start will have some of that material in it, but will focus on the subversion of the Church by the world and the modernists, using specifically that topic. The sort of replacing of the faith with a green adoration of trees and whatnot that masks the purpose Caesar and the Leviathan have for engaging in those efforts, the why of what they're doing. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. But that's it for this edition of the Mailbag. Thanks again to everyone who sent mail my way this month. It is appreciated. Keep me in your prayers, please, as October will be an interesting month on the personal front. As always, pray for the Church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.